Acting Speaker, always great to have you in the chair, my neighbour from Preston, and I'm rising to support the Roads and Ports Legislation Amendment Bill, Road Safety and Other Matters Bill of 2025. And just like I said in my inaugural speech, Acting Speaker, as a proud long-time member of the Transport Workers Union, but as the local member now for Pascoe Vale, Coburg and Brunswick West, with so many more young families moving to the area, I'm absolutely committed to doing everything I can, like you are, to improving road safety across our community for vulnerable road users. And this bill will help us achieve that through a number of legislative amendments to improve safety, achieve operational and administrative efficiencies, and improve the effectiveness of many and several of our transport laws. Number one, when it comes to hit and runs, the bill will provide for improved enforcement of road safety offences by amending the various provisions and offences in the Road Safety Act of 1986 to support their investigation and enforcement. Under the Road Safety Act of 1986, it is an offence for a driver to fail to stop and render assistance after a traffic accident where someone is injured or property is damaged. These offences are commonly known, of course, as I said, as hit and runs. There are two categories of penalties for these offences. If a person is killed or seriously injured, the act of failing to stop and render assistance is an indictable offence with significant penalties, including up to 10 years imprisonment. And the second category of offences cover incidents that have resulted in minor injuries. These are summary offences and have lesser penalties. Summary offences also come with a 12-month period after the incident in which Victoria Police can commence proceedings. This limitation, however, has been proven to be insufficient in some cases because it takes time to investigate and identify who was driving the vehicle at the time of the alleged offence, and this bill will extend that time for Victoria Police have to bring a proceeding for this summary offence from 12 months up to 24 months to increase the likelihood that the alleged offender can be identified, located and prosecuted. Secondly, this bill will also take action on drug driving. We know that driving while impaired by alcohol or drugs is a major contributing factor to the road toll and serious injuries in Victoria. Part 5 of the Road Safety Act of 1986 contains alcohol and drug-related offences to reduce this risk. When detecting these offences in a range of circumstances, a blood sample must be obtained, which can be only done by a registered medical practitioner or an approved health professional, which includes a nurse and other persons approved by the Victorian Institute of Forensic Medicine. This blood sample must be obtained within 3 hours of the person driving the vehicle, and in practice, Victoria Police can, in some circumstances, find it difficult to conduct the necessary impairment assessment and find a registered medical practitioner or approved health professional to take that blood sample. And the amendment in this bill will allow for the additional professionals to be prescribed as approved health professionals for the purposes of obtaining these blood samples, improving Victoria Police's ability to detect drink and drug driving offences. Thirdly, the road safety camera and fines reform contained in this bill will also help support us across the state and locally. A range of offences in the Road Safety Act of 1986 also seek to reduce injuries and fatalities across the roads through these measures. Some of these offences are detected by way of prescribed road safety cameras and include speed, red light, seatbelt and distracted driving offences. The range of offences detected by these cameras has expanded, as we know, in recent years, and sworn police officers are required to issue infringements for these offences. This bill will amend the Road Safety Act of 1986 to allow for specifically authorised Victoria Police employees to be able to issue infringements for these offences, freeing up sworn police officers for other duties, and Victoria Police employees would need to be authorised in writing by the Chief Commissioner of Police before they can issue these types of infringements. Fourthly, increased flexibility for the management of road assets and improved processes for roadworks. Acting Speaker, the Road Management Act of 2004 provides the statutory framework for the management of Victoria's roads. This framework establishes the coordinated road management system for public roads, which includes the clear allocation of responsibilities between coordinating road authorities and responsible road authorities. Section 37 of the Act of 2004 specifies which public body is the responsible road authority for road and its road infrastructure, for example, roadway, pathway structures forming part of a roadway or pathway, and road-related infrastructure like traffic lights and street lights. And this bill expands the regulation-making power in that section so that regulations will be able to specify the responsible road authority for particular types of road infrastructure that forms part of a roadway, and allow us to better delineate those responsibilities, including, for example, where municipal roads go over rail bridges, which by default become the responsibility of council, but we know the Department of Transport, VicTrack and other entities will be more appropriately suited to address those maintenance issues. Also, when it comes to the road, we know these reforms will continue to play that vital role, Acting Speaker, to improve road safety. The Road Safety Strategy of 21-2030 sets out our ambitious goal of eliminating death from our roads by 2050, with the first step of halving road deaths by 2023 by focusing on enforcing safer driver behaviour, removing unsafe vehicles from our roads, better supporting vulnerable and unprotected road users, improving safety along high-speed corridor and reducing risks at intersections, improving safety for those who use the roads for work, namely transport workers, and recognising the importance of post-crash care. However, we know that the leading cause of deaths and road fatalities, crashes and incidents continues to be associated with poor driver behaviour in the form of travelling over the speed limit and aggressive driving, driver distractions, drink driving, drug driving, not wearing a seatbelt and driving while fatigued all continue to remain as the leading contributing factors to our road toll, road crashes and close calls. And in that respect, Acting Speaker, I continue to draw the Parliament's and the Minister's attention to the Economy and Infrastructure Committee's inquiry on vulnerable road users, which I was proudly part of with the member for Ballerine, which put forward 61 findings and 56 recommendations, including Recommendation 5 that the Department of Transport and Planning revise its speed zoning policy to streamline changes to speed limits on a case-by-case basis. Recommendation 6 that reviews the flexibility of speed zoning guidelines with an aim to decrease suburban rat running and reduce speeds around schools and arterial roads within activity centres. I know this is of great interest to you as well, Speaker. Recommendation 16, the Victorian Government develop an awareness campaign on the avenues available to report dangerous driving incidents. Recommendation 12, that the Department of Transport and Planning trial the use of variable message signboards in high-risk locations to increase compliance with road rules and remind drivers to check their behaviour. Recommendation 27, reviewing the locations of pedestrian crossings on arterial roads to ensure there are regular crossing links to public transport stops, activity centres and schools. And I'll touch on some examples in a moment. And Recommendation 48, the Victorian Government work with councils to improve traffic calming measures around school precincts to encourage more parents to allow their children to walk or ride to school. Because, Acting Speaker, along with this bill's reforms, it is the recommendations of this parliamentary inquiry that will continue to help make our roads and neighbourhoods safer. And in this respect, in my local community, we have been undertaking quite a number of projects to improve road safety. We've removed the 4 dangerous level crossings along the Upfield line in Coburg. We've introduced the active transport corridor through Coburg as well. The Gaffney Street upgrades are under construction as we speak between Cumberland and Pascoe Vale roads. The Derby Street active transport corridor has been delivered. The Bell Street Bridge for Coburg High that we've worked so furiously on with the member for Northcote has been implemented, the safer speed zone. Nicholson Streets had $1.2 million committed to it to be made safer. Melville Road's having a holistic review undertaken with the likelihood the department has said of reducing the speed limit to 50 kilometres and a new 40-kilometre school zone for St Joseph's Primary and Brunswick North West Primary kids for the first time on that corridor. And we've helped improve Albion Street as well between City Link and Moreland Road with some funding for raised pedestrian crossings. But there's more to do. There's more to do, Acting Speaker, as we know, and the first of which comes to Murray Road in North Coburg, which adjoins our 2 respective electorates. Following at least a dozen serious local road crashes and incidents this year since January, residents continue to call for and support new measures, including safer speeds, such as reducing the standard variable speed limit from 60 to 50 at a minimum, and introducing safer school speed zones through the corridor of 40 kilometres, including namely between Stockade Avenue and College Boulevard, where a lot of the Coburg High kids tend to cross from Coburg Pool down to Coburg Lake. I'm still calling, and we still welcome the Minister's consideration of that. New measures for better provision of cyclists, pedestrians and vulnerable road users, and of course better signage, infrastructure and enforcement along the corridor. Queen Street's Acting Speaker along the Moreland Road corridor continues to remain a priority, especially following the recent fatality of a vulnerable road user on the 15th of May on the corner of Gordon Street intersection. I do extend my condolences and sympathies to the family that continue to be impacted by that incident. Locals continue to, however, particularly call for a new pedestrian crossing further up, about 200 metres further away at the Queen Street intersection. Coburg West Primary has written to me today saying, quote, "We are writing to express our support for the installation of a dedicated pedestrian crossing on Moreland Road close to Queen Street. Sadly, families within our school community were recently impacted by the death of a pedestrian within 200 metres of the intersection, and we feel strongly that action needs to be taken before anyone else is killed or injured." St Fidelis Primary has also written to me on the 4th of June about this issue. Quote, "Many of our St Fidelis students and families regularly cross this busy section of Moreland Road to access local shops, public transport, walking and riding routes to and from our school. We share the growing concern of our families and community members regarding the dangers posed by this section of road, particularly at peak school times. The safety of our children and families must be the priority." And Bell Street, of course, Acting Speaker, along Elm Grove and Urquhart Street near Coburg Primary School continues to remain a priority. On the evening of the 6th of May, a motorbike rider was tragically killed in a collision with a car along this section, and while the matter continues to be investigated, locals inform me it continues to highlight the need for road safety improvements for the area, namely via a holistic review which they asked the Department of Transport to undertake to help improve road safety in and around that corridor, particularly for Coburg Primary families. I just want to again acknowledge the parents leading a lot of that work, Jacob Cantor, the President of the School Council, and Emma Burrows, who's advocating on this issue as well. And it's on that note that I commend the bill very much so, because improving road safety is extremely important, especially for inner city communities like ours, with so many more young families moving to the area.